Now it's time for today's perspective, and my guest on the programme today is an artist with two passions in his life. Now, the first, obviously, is for art. The second is for addressing issues of social injustice. Brian Maguire has dedicated his artwork to trying to help marginalised groups, notably in his home country of Ireland, but also elsewhere in countries like the US and Poland as well. He's had his paintings exhibited right around the world. His latest exhibition goes on display tonight at the Irish Cultural Centre here in Paris, and Brian Maguire joins us now here in the studio. Thanks very much for being with us in the programme. Tell us then what this exhibition, the latest exhibition that you have here at the Irish Cultural Centre is all about.
Well, the exhibition focuses on a number of... there are 8 paintings. They're all of bodies which were found in the Sonora Desert between Margoles in Mexico and Tucson. This is since 2000. The amount of bodies being found in the desert doubled, and the amount of arrests halved. Yeah. So as the Border Patrol became more effective in keeping migrants out of America, they began to die in this desert. The reason they die is simple. It's impossible to carry enough water from the starting point to the end point, Tucson. It's just impossible.
And you obviously went to the desert to see this in action.
Yes, I was there and indeed met some migrants as they attempted to cross. But the main source of the research was through the medical officer for Pima County, Greg Hess. He provided me with 90 cases of people who had died. I think there are 3,300 when we in 2019 there were 3,300 when I met him first. There's about 150 a year die crossing. These are people looking for work. These are people who are fleeing from cartel violence in Honduras, in Central America, and in Mexico itself. We met them. I know you're going to refer to a film, and in that film there's a clip from the reception center in Margoles, Mexico, where we had interviews with 2 groups of migrants.
Yeah. Well, let's watch a little bit of the film. This film is going to be shown at the Cultural Centre, in fact, next week on Tuesday, the 6th of May. It's by filmmaker Mark McLaughlin, and we can watch the trailer for it now.
My job is as a storyteller. I choose the stories, but they are other people's stories and have been for 30 years now.
I sit here and I write a few songs. He goes to the ends of the earth, puts himself into physical danger to get the information he needs to paint these works.
My work comes from anger, from a sense of wanting to take revenge, not physically, but through painting.
It's nice to get an image of the size of the paintings.
I have a studio in the north of Paris, which is large.
Yeah, exactly. It takes up a lot of space. I wanted to pick you out on one thing that we heard you say there in the film. You said you want to take revenge, but not physically, through painting. Where does that come from?
I remember I said it, I don't know, about 40 years ago at an Arts Council meeting. I said I didn't understand what they were talking about because most of my work comes from revenge. Now, what that is, the things that make you angry are the things that stay with you. Enjoyment gets forgotten. It leaves you. But the anger against things that happened, it stays. And that's where the source of the work came. And I mean, I worked abroad, false papers, when I was 16. I know a tiny bit about this world. Now, it is unthinkable that so many people die from starvation or from exhaustion, lack of water.
Even in the modern world today.
In this modern world, and what is their crime? They're looking for work.
And how does painting get that across, do you think?
Well, the pictures are there. I've made essentially portraits of the dead. I avoid making them explicit in terms of faces, but I show the figure there. So it makes it very clear what happened.
And the target is often capitalism, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, how is it we can fly and they have to walk? And then, do you know what the minimum wage in America is?
Very low.
€5 an hour.
And that injustice compels you to try and capture that?
Yeah. Well, if I can do it, I do it. And it became possible solely through the support of the chief medical officer, because he provided access to the images. I mean, I've only used about 15 of them, of the 90 cases.
And you've had exhibitions right around the world. What other injustices have you picked on and highlighted?
I made a show in the UN and also in various places of the destruction of Aleppo. I've made a show recently in Dublin, and it'll be shown in Tampa, in Florida, of the Amazon. I went there, and because we all know that it's the lung of the world. We know that. We were reared being told this, but we never heard the voice of anybody who lives there. So I wanted to capture that voice. The last piece of work I have is around Native Americans, who the statistic might tell you, if you can understand it, 27% of the disappearance and murders in Montana are Native American, but they're less than 7% of the population. If you put those two figures together, you begin to get a handle on it.
It's pretty stark, isn't it?
Isn't it?
And just finally, I mean, we often hear from sportsmen and women saying you shouldn't mix sport and politics. It's obviously not something that you believe with.
No, I mean, art has always been about, about the world that the artist lived in. I mean, you have Goya, you have the Raft of the Medusa down here in the Louvre, which is like a picture which became utterly contemporary with the experience of the Mediterranean. A picture from hundreds of years ago. So it's always been about the world.
Good to talk to you on the programme today.
Thank
you very much for coming in and talking to us. Brian Maguire, the exhibition, there's a book as well, but the exhibition is on at the Irish Cultural Centre from tonight, and you can see that film as well Tuesday week, I think it is. So thank you very much for coming in and talking to us.
Thank you very much.